Welcome to Timeless Wisdom Podcast. Today, we're diving into some really profound material you brought, focusing on a specific verse from the Holy Quran, chapter 2, verse 93.
That's right. It's a verse that really packs a punch, historically speaking, but also, I think, holds so many lessons for us today.
Absolutely. So our goal is to unpack this together, look at what happened back then, but really focus on, what are the takeaways for personal growth now?
Exactly. We'll look at the covenant at Mount Sinai, why it was offered, how the Israelites responded, and importantly, what guidance we can find in it for our own lives, our own hearts.
Okay, great. So let's start with the scene itself. The verse mentions Allah taking a pledge and then, incredibly, raising Mount Tur above the Israelites. What's the background here? What led up to this dramatic moment?
Well, it's crucial to remember what came before. Prophet Moses, peace be upon him, had shown them amazing miracles. They'd been saved, provided for incredible signs.
Right, countless blessings.
Countless. And yet, even after all that, they fell into worshiping the golden calf.
It's quite a stark turn, isn't it, after seeing so much evidence?
It really is. It highlights something fundamental, maybe, about, forgetting blessings or getting sidetracked, even when the truth seems obvious.
So in that context, the raising of the mountain, the sources suggest it wasn't just a display of power, but more an act of mercy, almost like a strong nudge.
Precisely. Think of it as divine teaching through a very vivid experience. It was underscoring the absolute seriousness of the commitment they were making, the Torah they were receiving.
Like making the abstract weight of the covenant feel, physically real for a moment.
Exactly. But, and this is key, the sources are clear, it wasn't about forcing belief. Coercion isn't the point. The choice was still theirs once the immediate awe subsided.
Okay, so it's an emphasis, a sign, but not removing their free will.
Right. It was a powerful, unforgettable invitation to take the guidance seriously.
And the pledge itself, the verse calls it your pledge, referring to the Israelites. Why is that phrasing significant?
It puts the responsibility squarely on them. Yes, it's Allah's covenant, his guidance, but they entered into it. They agreed.
So it wasn't imposed unilaterally, they participated.
They participated, which means breaking. It wasn't just forgetting. It was a conscious choice, a turning away from something they had verbally accepted. And that holds a lesson for us too, about our own commitments, our word.
That leads directly to the next part, their response. We hear and we disobey. That's just quite jarring.
It is. It's blunt. They said the words, we hear, but their actions, or maybe their inner state, was already resistant. We disobey.
It lays bare that gap, doesn't it, between just hearing something and actually truly listening and intending to act.
Absolutely. True faith, as Islam teaches, isn't just lip service. It's aligning what you believe in your heart, what you say with your tongue, and what you do with your limbs. It all has to connect.
So, hearing divine guidance isn't passive. It demands a response, an action.
Yes. True listening, in this spiritual context, means taking it in, understanding it, and letting it change you, letting it guide your actions. Saying you hear, but then doing nothing, or the opposite.
Yeah.
Well, that has consequences.
That inaction, or active disobedience, seems connected to the next really striking image. And through their disbelief, they were made to drink the calf deep into their hearts. What does that metaphor convey? It's so visceral.
It's incredibly powerful, isn't it? Drinking it in. It shows how their disbelief, their turning away from Allah, created this void, this space in their hearts.
And that void got filled by
an intense love and attachment to the material, symbolized by the golden calf. It wasn't just a fleeting desire. It permeated their being, became part of their spiritual condition, because their hearts weren't grounded in faith.
So disbelief was like the cup, or the means through which this love for the material just flowed in and settled.
Exactly. It settled deep inside. It's a profound illustration of how turning from the divine can lead to an obsessive attachment to the worldly.
It makes me think, does this connect at all with, say, modern psychology's ideas about how our core beliefs can shape what we desire or focus on?
It's a fascinating parallel, actually. Psychology does talk about how our underlying beliefs, our values, drive our behavior and what we seek. If those beliefs aren't rooted in something meaningful, something lasting,
then we might chase temporary material things for satisfaction.
Precisely. We might fixate on wealth, status, pleasure things represented by the calf, thinking they'll bring happiness. But Islam teaches, and this verse illustrates, that true contentment comes from purifying the heart from those excessive attachments and connecting with Allah.
So the spiritual vacuum gets filled one way or another.
Right. either with faith and remembrance of Allah or with these potentially harmful attachments.
Okay. Then the verse ends with this really pointed, almost challenging question. Say, if you are believers, what an evil thing your faith has made you do. What's the impact of that?
It's a direct confrontation of their hypocrisy. They claim to be believers, specifically claiming they'd only follow what was revealed to them, the Torah, while rejecting other prophets or even breaking the very covenant they just made.
So it's holding up a mirror saying, look at your actions. Do these match your claim to faith?
Exactly. It forces the question. If this is what your faith leads you to do, disobey, worship idols, reject guidance, then what kind of faith is it, really? It suggests their hearts weren't truly submitted.
It implies that real faith should naturally lead to good actions, not evil ones.
Right. True faith guides towards righteousness, towards fulfilling the covenant, towards good conduct. The verse basically says, your actions betray your claim.
It's a powerful check for anyone, really, to look at our own lives.
Definitely. It pushes us to ask, are my actions consistent with what I say I believe? Is my faith just a label, or is it actively shaping me for the better?
So let's pivot to that. Thinking about these lessons, the need for sincerity, the danger of materialism taking over, the importance of action following hearing. What are some practical steps you think we can take away for our own growth?
Well, first, I think, is that sincerity check. Regularly reflecting, honestly, do my actions truly align with my Islamic beliefs? Where are the gaps? Am I just going through motions, or is it coming from the heart?
That constant self-assessment.
Yes. And second, cultivating that attentive listening we talked about. When we read Quran, when we hear reminders, are we listening with the intention to understand and, crucially, to implement?
Not just letting it wash over us.
Right, engaging with it actively, making dua, asking Allah for the ability to act on the guidance we receive.
Okay, so sincerity, attentive listening. What about that drinking the calf part? The attachment to material things, how do we guard against that?
It requires examining our own hearts. What do we really love? What takes up our time, our thoughts, our energy, our material desires, career, status becoming idols for us, taking precedence over our duty to Allah?
That calls for real honesty.
It does. And striving for balance. Islam doesn't forbid enjoying the good things Allah provides, but it warns against letting them dominate our hearts and distract us from our ultimate purpose. Using wealth and resources for good, for pleasing Allah, rather than just accumulating.
Practicing gratitude, maybe?
Yeah.
And remembering things are temporary.
Exactly. Gratitude, charity, sadaqah, zakat. These help purify that attachment. Remembering the hereafter keeps worldly things in perspective.
And recognizing the power of belief itself, how that shapes everything else.
Absolutely. Understanding that sincere faith is the foundation. Nurturing that belief through knowledge, remembrance, good deeds, that's what helps cultivate righteous actions naturally, rather than feeling forced.
It all seems to loop back to the heart's condition.
It really does. And finally, learning from this story itself. The Israelites' experience isn't just ancient history. It's a mirror reflecting potential pitfalls for all of us. The consequences of neglecting guidance, of prioritizing the temporary. It's a timeless warning.
So reflecting on their mistakes helps us avoid them, hopefully.
Inshallah, yes. It's a powerful reminder to stay vigilant, stay connected to the guidance, and keep striving.
This has been really illuminating. Exploring this one verse opens up so much about, well, sincere belief, the absolute need to match our words with actions, and being wary of letting worldly things consume our hearts.
These themes are woven throughout the Quran, but this verse captures them so vividly. Just as Allah guided the Israelites with patience, mercy, and clear signs, we also have constant opportunities to reflect, learn, and grow closer to Him.
It's about seeing those opportunities and trying to live up to that standard of hearing and truly obeying.
May we all strive for that sincerity.
We really encourage everyone listening to continue reflecting on these ideas. How can you apply this need for alignment, this awareness of attachments in your own day-to-day life? What small step can you take?
And if you'd like more discussions like this, exploring timeless wisdom and practical Islamic guidance, please do subscribe to our channel, The Broke Entrepreneur.
The Quran's wisdom is timeless. Apply it today.